Hi there.
Hi, welcome back to Curious Collection. I'm Will.
I'm Cinnamon.
So today we are going to kind of follow up on yesterday's video, and we were really excited about the fact that we are top rated in our second store. So now we're actually top rated in both of the stores that we function in, saving ourselves. The big part of it is that we do get more exposure, but we get to save 10% on all of our fees. So we did a video last week, and we had mentioned the fact that the eBay transaction fees had increased by 10 cents. And we did get a little bit of pushback on that. And so we want to talk about how reselling on eBay or any other platform is a pennies game. This is where we're going to make money and where we're going to lose money. People love to look at the big transactions. Oh, I bought this great pair of shoes for $10. I sold it for $100. Look at all the money I made. But I challenge you, especially if you're working in smaller margins or lower value items. So our average item sale is $20.
Which is eBay's average item sale.
Right. It really is. And so last year we did 5,000 transactions. That means we're doing 15 items a day. That's not insane. That is not, I know relative to where we were a couple of years ago when we had a smaller store, when it was just me, 15 would have been a lot.
Yeah.
But for two people to pack and ship it, it is not too much to ship out in a day.
Right.
So if you're doing 15 transactions a day, you're doing 5,000 transactions a year. 5,000 is now our multiplier. Whatever our input costs are, we're multiplying by 5,000.
Right.
We're paying an extra 10 cents now on that transaction fee.
That's $500.
That's $500 a year more. Now, it's important to remember, those fees or any other expense that you have is tax deductible. It comes out of your profit and goes to whoever you're paying it to, and it goes into their profit line. So, basically that's what you need to look at is every time you spend an extra nickel, an extra dime, an extra even single penny, you're multiplying it by 5,000. Whatever your transactions are, take a look at how many transactions you had last year and multiply it out. How much did I spend on boxes? How much did I spend extra on boxes because I didn't shop the best price?
Right,
so we actually do that on every single thing that we use.
Yeah, like our bubble mailers. We were, like when you first started, you were getting your bubble mailers at the Dollar Tree. And so you were paying $1 for 2. It was the only place I knew. It was the only place I knew that even sold them. I didn't shop at Walmart. Walmart sells like a 10-pack. So I would go to Dollar Tree. They had a 2-pack of the #1 size mailer, and I would buy that 2-pack for $1.06 with state sales tax. Right. So 53 cents each. And we're to the point to where we shop around, we get the proper size. So some of my stuff, I'm able to get the 000s for my teeny tiny jewelry boxes. I can fit in the 000.
Yeah. The 000 is a 5x7.
Right.
Bubble mailer.
Then most of the things we ship out, we use a 0.
Right. And
which
is a 9x6.
Right. And we have been able to get the triples down to 6 cents. And I think the zeros we get for about 13 cents.
Yeah, I was going to actually do the math. We get 250 of them. So what you do is you actually take your total cost. So it's $32 for us for a case. And then you divide that by the amount in the case. So for us, it's 250. It works out to be 12.8 cents per mailer.
Right.
So we went
huge difference.
Right. We went from 53 cents per mailer to 12.8.
Right. So that's 25. That's only a quarter of what the original cost was that he was doing.
So I'm going to take the 53 cents and I'm going to subtract the 13 cents, the 12.8. That's 40 cents difference. And then we're just going to take that and I'm working on my calculator here. So we're going to take the 40 cents and we're going to multiply it by 5,000. That is $2,000 a year. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that goes straight into your profit line.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that on every single thing
that we
right.
Yes.
So
my jewelry boxes.
Let's talk about the boxes.
So I talk about my jewelry boxes all the time. I love my jewelry boxes.
And some people are sick of hearing about it, but
I don't care.
This is really what the business is about. It's breaking it down into component parts. You have a system that you use every time. That's how you create efficiencies. That's how we're able to do 5,000 transactions a year, is that we know when we have a piece of jewelry, it goes into a specific size box. It goes into a specific envelope. We can then back calculate the cost of shipping. We can calculate the cost of the packaging.
Right, because we know the costs.
Right.
So I have 3 different size jewelry boxes. And these are like the pearly teal jewelry boxes. And I have them in 3 different sizes, depending on the piece, which I love, because I can then, if they order a ring and a bracelet, I can then put them together and the jewelry boxes are still consistent. Mm-hmm. They're still that uniform, high quality, what our not patients, what our customers are expecting from us. So we take these and then I wrap everything in tissue paper and then a quarter sheet of tissue paper. Because again, it's a Pennies business. So,
right.
These cost 55 cents a piece. So for the bigger ones, and then they're like, 45 to 35 cents for the other sizes.
So at, why doesn't this ever work for me? 0.55 5,000. So at 55 cents, if we sold 5,000 bracelets, we're looking at $2,750 just in these boxes.
Right.
Just in this box. And then we're going to take the cost of that box, and it has to ship in a 1. And we're going to add the 55 cents with the 13 cent.
Right.
And, now you're adding another $1,200. Like
right.
That's $3,000 now that we're taking out of our profit line, and we're moving it to this manufacturer's profit line, and we're moving it to their profit line. So
it's important that we're able to shop around to, try to get those discounts without sacrificing quality, though. That's really important to walk that fine line. Yes, these boxes might be a little more expensive, but it's the quality. So
So I've seen people that will take a piece of jewelry, they'll wrap it in paper towel, and instead of sticking it in a padded mailer, they'll even break it down cheaper and they'll stick it in a poly bag. Well, the poly bag isn't providing any protection. And so you have maybe a bracelet or some earrings, whatever, in a poly bag.
Now they've poked through.
Right. I was going to say, we've had it where we've seen them and they poke through the poly bag. You've got bent studs. You've got scratched up, damaged bracelets. And
you have a very upset customer.
Right.
Who's not going to come back to you.
Right. So for us, the extra cost is justified by the reduction in return rate and by the increase in our stars, basically our reviews.
Right.
So something that we did recently, though, is we found someone on Facebook Marketplace who was selling some pre-owned, gently used jewelry boxes.
Right.
So very similar in style to what we're already using, different color.
Right.
Their window box.
Which I kind of like, actually. Now I'm getting used to these, and I'm like, well, I really like these, because something else that we do is, again, we're very, very big on the presentation. And we have some stickers that say, thank you for supporting our small business. So like I said, I wrap everything up in tissue paper, and then I put the sticker on the tissue paper to keep the tissue paper in place. And then the little sticker shines through the window. So I'm super, super pleased with that.
Yeah.
These boxes, we bought 400 of them for $70.
Right.
So
I take the $70. We're going to divide it by 400. And it works out to
17.5 cents.
Right.
Huge savings. You know, so we took our 55 cents and took out the 17 and a half. No. 0.55 minus the 0.175. So we're saving 37.5 cents on each transaction. That's huge.
Right. If you multiply that times 5,000, that's $1,875 that we're able to save. We're still getting the same quality of presentation with the silver box with the window. Again, they're gently owned. They literally
they look brand new.
The person that was selling this product didn't want to ship it in this box. They take them out. I don't know how they do it. They probably wrap it in paper towel, and they sold us the boxes. So we save just from switching from the blue box to the pre-owned, gently used, no markings, no scratches, no tape. We save $1,875 if all we're selling is jewelry.
Right.
So we're taking that, taking that energy, that idea, and go,
in everything we do.
Right. I'm earning an additional $1,800 this year because I'm not taking that product cost and moving it from my profit line to someone else's. Mm-hmm. You know,
I will happily take the extra $2,000 and put it into our bank account as opposed to, and again, I love these.
Yeah. Well, you will have to pay taxes on the extra $2,000 you make.
Right. Well, that's okay because I already have enough of the other tax credits that I will take the cash. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just give me the cash. I'm good with that.
Yeah. There are times I don't want to dismiss the idea of using those tax deductions. Now we are in tax season, and I understand that people, they get to the end of the year and they see that tax bill and they go, well, how can I reduce this? How can I improve my business and reduce my tax liability? Right? So you got two things there that you want to do. Take the extra $1,800 if you don't want to take it as profit. Upgrade your computer, upgrade your scanner, upgrade your camera, upgrade some type of fixture in your business that will allow your business to thrive.
And we did buy some packaging at the end of the year because we did want to help, reduce those because we knew what our numbers were looking like and we did want to kind of help reduce those numbers. So yes, we did buy some packaging and things like that.
Sure.
Because we were going to buy it anyway. That was before we found out about that one. But if you have to, but the thing is, shop around, buy the better deal,
right?
Save yourself some costs that can then go into your profit line. This is your business, so you want to make the most money out of it,
right? We all want to position ourselves to be able to make the most money, to make the most profit,
so that we can continue to do this.
The one criticism I see for us and that people want to give is, well, you're not selling high enough margin items or you're not selling high enough value items.
And that's true.
The reality is that our average product sale, and this is the total transaction that hits the credit card, is $20. Now, if we increased that without increasing shipping, then yes, there would be more money on the profit end. Our profit margin, we make 50 cents on every dollar that's transacted. For any business out there, that's a really great good profit margins. Yeah. I understand if you're buying stuff for $1, selling it for $100, free shipping, like you don't have to pay shipping. Somehow you miraculously work that out and you're making 99 on $1. That's amazing. But in any other business, making 50 cents on every dollar that you transact is over the top.
Right. Even in eBay reselling.
Yes.
The fact that we get a 50% profit margin is good for what we're doing. So,
and the typical range for an eBay seller from the research that I've done is anywhere between 30 cents on the dollar margin to 60 cents on the dollar. So if you're outside of that range, a lot of people complain, well, I can't promote because I don't have the margin. If you have a contract with Mattel and you are buying toys from Mattel, you're competing against Walmart. Walmart's margins are not 50%. So you now need to come down under what Walmart's charging.
Sure.
You know, when I told you that I had worked in retail, their margins were incredibly thin.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually know what the margins were in some of these categories, and I know what their profit looked like, and I know what their payroll looked like. The company that I worked for had a 4% payroll. So for every dollar that they transacted, 4 cents went to employee labor. That is incredibly low.
Well, and that's the other thing.
We're saying 50 cents go to our labor.
Right. When, just like those big retail stores, like, they are very much a pennies game. You know, when you have a pallet of product, you may only be getting, the store may only be getting, you know, a 2% margin on some of those products, but they're selling them by the thousands.
Right.
So yes,
and that's how we have to think about it too.
Right. Because it really is a pennies game. You really do have to be super cognizant of every single step and what that costs. If you own a restaurant, you should know what every piece of cheese costs so that you can charge appropriately between a burger and a cheeseburger. Mm-hmm. If you are in the business where you're shipping, you need to know what every single box and every padded envelope costs you.
Every roll of tape and every thermal label. The reality is we look at all of these other businesses from the outside, and all we see is the customer experience. We're not looking in the back door. I told you before that I had worked in a restaurant service. My business had serviced restaurants. We had done commercial pressure washing, and you'd walk in the back door of a McDonald's, as an example, and they would have a poster board with cheese, the cost of the cheese, and how much, you know, how many sandwiches they'd have to make in order to replace the cost of one slice of cheese that fell on the floor. You know, they'd have it for the buns. They'd have it for the burger patties. They know exactly how much money goes into each ingredient that goes to make their order, just like we need to. Mm-hmm. And they also know how long it takes. So that's also something that we haven't really talked about, but
our time
you have to
is
know
a resource as
how much time goes into each task. So it's actually something that we talk about with like our YouTube channel, is that we try to reduce the amount of time that we put into something, specifically because we don't have the payback on it. It doesn't, this is a non-monetized channel. So we want to make sure that, you know, we're not over dedicating resources. We don't do a lot of edits.
Right.
We don't do a lot of takes. Like we never do takes.
No, this is it. Like you get what you get.
So, you know, because again, like, we have to be smart with our time. Mm-hmm. So, you know, one of the things that we talk about is that, you know, we can ship anything, but when I ship ephemera, I have a process. It takes me less than 1 minute to ship a single piece of ephemera.
And my jewelry is the same way. I have a uniform process across the board. All of my jewelry gets, you know, it's got the pad, it's got the quarter sheet of the tissue paper. I wrap it all the same. I have a process. For me, it's super easy. He does not ship my jewelry. That's mine.
I do not have the skill set for shipping jewelry. It is too precise.
It is very precise. I have
like giant gorilla hands, so I will crush delicate things.
Yes, but we have a process. It's super simple to us. It doesn't take as much time because we do have those processes in place. So, you know, we talk about all the time the fact that, like, the things that we ship, they're quick, they're easy. You can throw them in an envelope. They're cheap. Those are all thought process that goes into our buying as well. We tend to pass on those big bulky items that are going to cost a lot to ship, and it's going to take a lot of time to figure out how to ship them. Right.
Unless, of course, it has the margin attached.
Yeah.
I shipped a chair off the Queen Mary, a literal lounge chair made of teak. It weighed like 70 pounds.
And we spent $30 on one box.
Right. Right. But it was worth it. It was worth it. One,
Yes.
it's a piece of history. And two, it sold for $500. So it was justifiably worth the wait, the expense, the hassle of carrying it around. So, you know, you have to measure this stuff off and balance and determine, you know, how is it going to work? The next thing we want to talk about, and this is, I know it's getting to be a long video. We try to keep them under 20 minutes, but mileage. You know, we talk about mileage and the fact that, yes, mileage is tax deductible, so long as it is specifically for work purposes. Now, if you're just going to run to the fast food, that is not mileage that you can deduct. But if you're going to go to the thrift store, a flea market, an auction, a
garage
private buy, a garage sale, anything like that, document your mileage, keep it on a chart, keep it in a graph, whatever, however you document your mileage. But we still need to remember, it's a Pennies business. Every mile that you drive is costing your business 67 cents.
Yeah.
Okay. 67 cents is the 2024 IRS allotment for mileage. So the IRS has determined that on average, it costs 67 cents between your car insurance, the actual wear and tear on your vehicle, because we can't forget about that. It's invisible to us until it breaks.
Yeah.
And then we have the fuel that goes into the vehicle. So you add that all together, we're talking about 67 cents a mile. The other day we went to a flea market. We haven't been there in 6 months because it's a distance. It's a travel, but we found some really good stuff at this market before. And so we said, well, you know what? It's a Sunday. We don't do listings. Let's take a trip. Let's go drive out there. Let's see what we can find. And how far did you say it was?
It was 70 miles. Because again, remember, we're super rural. That's round trip.
Okay, so it's 70 miles round trip, which doesn't, I mean, 35 miles there isn't really sound like a whole lot. But so we're going to take that. We're going to take the 70 miles. We're going to multiply that times the 0.67 that the federal government is allowing us as a deduction for that mileage. It's $46.9. So $46.90. We can round it to 47 for convenience.
For 1 day of sourcing.
For 1 day of sourcing. And we were going to take that number because that's actually now part of the cost of our goods that we bought.
That changes things.
And then, okay, well, what did we buy when we were there?
We bought $40 in jewelry and we bought $20 in packaging materials. So now that doesn't seem like such a good deal. Like, they were really good deals when we got there, but it's not as great a deal when you have to add in the extra cost of the mileage.
Right. And unfortunately, that is something that we have to consider.
Because otherwise, that money would still be in the pocket. You know, that $47 would still be ours if we just pulled from behind us.
Right. So, and I know, again, this is an invisible cost to your business. You're not seeing it. All you're seeing is that tax deduction that's going to come off from your taxable income. You didn't realize that you had to fill up the gas tank before you drove out there. You didn't see the invisible wear on your engine, on your transmission, on your brakes.
Because that oil change is going to have to be 70 miles, sooner now, and all of it, So it is certainly something that you need to consider, right? We're not saying that you stop going sourcing. Obviously, you want to source, but if you're able, put multiple trips into one. Right. So there's we have a place that we buy packaging material from, but they are like an hour away from us. Luckily, there's a flea market that's right around the corner from them. So whenever we go to that flea market, we hit the packaging store as well, because they give us the best deals. But again, if you have to, they're about the same distance. So if you have to add $40 in wear and tear to your vehicle, then now it's not so great. But if you can split it between the flea market and the packaging store, then it helps.
So one of the things I want to think about is that we're always planning ahead and we're buying it in bulk. So yes, we're buying it in bulk for the reason that we can save money. But the other part is that we don't need to run out every week and buy more product. Now, there's people that tell me, well, I just go to the dumpster and I just dig out the boxes. great. If that's how you want to run your businesses on used boxes, I don't have a problem with that.
And some people don't have the quantity that we have, and I get that too. When we were just a little baby store, you know, we could locally source, you know, some of our packaging material as well.
Sure. And if we get products in and they're in a decent, like an Amazon box or something, we don't have a problem reusing that. The problem I have is that our local recycling center where I would find the cardboard boxes is 4 miles away each way. So, and then I'm talking about taking the time to drive the 8 miles, which isn't 8 minutes. It's going to be half an hour to go and pick boxes. Now, if I'm doing that every week, how much time am I losing? How much mileage am I putting on the vehicle? For us, it actually just makes more sense to get the good deal on the boxes.
Right. And it's the packaging that we need, you know, so we don't have to Frankenbox, you know, the packaging as well, because we used to have to do that too, you know. And again, we're not saying that anything is wrong. It's, you have to put the thought process into it for your particular business. You know, that's the thing, is you really do. You have to think every single decision through. Looking at it 12 different ways. And then once you've come to a consensus, like, so in our business, it's great because we can actually sit here and talk about it and say, hey, you know what, this is the deal. This is the deal. You know, how do we want to handle this? Do we want to ship the jewelry box in a padded mailer or a poly bag? You know, do we want to use paper towel or a box? Do we want to use a rigid mailer or a poly bag? You know, we have the ability to kind of bounce ideas off each other, look at the pros and cons, and then determine what the best direction to go with that is. So, you know, we're just trying to throw some ideas out there for you guys so that you can kind of take some time, reconsider if you're selling 10 items a day or 100 items a month. I mean, even 100 items a month is still $1,200 a year. If you can save $1, that's, you know, that's awesome. Every single penny you save goes into your pocket. And that's really what your business is all about. You know, yes, no, we're not in this for the money. That's clearly, I could go be a nurse and make way more money than what I'm making right now. But we still need to support our household. We still got to keep the lights on. Right. So, you know, just like every other decision that we make, like our household budget, we do the same thing. You know, we have to sit there and go, okay, the coffee that I like, if I go and I buy it at Walmart, it's going to cost $8 a bag, but the discount store has it for $5 a bag. So if I get to save $3 a bag on my coffee, he lets me drink my coffee. So... Such a hard person to be around. So that at least I get to, like, you know, convince him, look at how much money we're saving. Right. Yeah. That's the way that you start a conversation with him. Yeah. Yeah. They call that girl math. Yeah, that's right. So all right. So thank you guys for stopping in and hanging out, talking to us about this stuff, and at least hearing our ideas on how we try to keep the cost down in our business. And we would love to hear your ideas on how you're able to kind of keep your costs down as well. So share with the community. Tell us down in the comments, like, how are you able to save? Or conversely, what things do you find are not worth saving the pennies when the quality is so much more important? Because again, like, you have to make those decisions for your business. Absolutely. So thank you so much. You guys have a great day. Thanks. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Thank you so much.